country works to emerge from the shadow of the boycott. The bank's chief executive, Raghavan Sitaraman, is here with us today. Thanks for joining us today. Good to see you again. Would you say the worst is over when it comes to these tensions between Qatar and its neighbours?
Absolutely. You've seen the 9 months performance of the banks. It's a new normal, I should say. Clearly, the banks have done exceedingly well. If we look at the combined banking system, financial stability is visible. Fitch has already reported liquidity has improved. The overall credit expansion is around 6%, asset expansion is around 5%, deposit expansion is over 10% increment year to date. That shows clearly the worst is over, and we are incrementally adding values to see the opportunities globally, regionally, and also making sure we come to terms with the reality.
What about non-resident deposits? Because we still got a drop. The drop, though, slowing to 4.2% for the nation in September.
If you understand the dynamics of the market space, the demographic structure, if you look at it, expatriate-driven. So there were knee-jerk reactions, but slowing down. If you look at the drain in the deposits in June, July, August, and September, considerable decrease. And that's what precisely instilling confidence for the expatriate populations, and the financial system has aligned to it. If you look at the central bank has proactively managed it, the finance ministry has proactively managed it, liquidity for the local banks have improved, and again, overall, as I said, liquidity conditions have improved for the banks, and banks are also stretching internationally in terms of bilateral borrowings to make sure that their asset optimization, liquidity management is scientific.
Just going to get some breaking news. Saudi's Crown Prince backs extending the OPEC output cuts into 2018, just crossing the Bloomberg terminal. This is an interview we've done. The Saudi Crown Prince backing extending the OPEC output cuts into 2018. Breaking news, just crossing the Bloomberg terminal. This is on the back of an interview we've done with him. So Russia said it a few weeks ago. Saudi Arabia now backs it. Seems as if the OPEC cuts will be extended, doesn't it? It's just deciding, fine-tuning it, deciding on the details at the end of this month.
That's the right move. We have seen the reflection of the oil price. $52 for US crude and $58 for Brent. It's a correct reflection as such. And this is going to stimulate the overall fiscal prudence for the regional economies. OPEC is really taking the right kind of steps. They are coming together, I'm sure. The oil price will be stable and functional for us to...
When you say stable and functional, I mean, do we go to $60 for WTI?
I'm not going to be surprised if it reaches 60. With the conditions which we are seeing now, the interest rate in the US is likely to go up. Dollar is weakening. Oil futures are going to go up. If OPEC is going to continue the output cut, essentially it will drive towards 60.
And Qatar's gas exports, it carries on, doesn't it? They haven't been affected at all.
That's going to be enhanced.
Yes.
Incrementally, they're going to scale up the productivity, and they're signing new contracts, including for UK, and that's going to have recurring revenues for hydrocarbons. So oil economies are dancing well.
On the matter of the US, as you touched on it, do you keep an eye on who the next Fed chair might be? Does it matter to you? Are you throwing your hat into the ring on who you think it should be, might be, will be?
I think the existing Fed chair, Janet Yellen, is doing a great job. She aligned in line with the overall global makeup. She recognized there are still challenges formidable to constructively engage for monetary policy. She's moderate in pursuit of practice. I think she will continue. That's my...
You think she'll be named?
I think she should continue, in my opinion.
She should.
She should.
Whether she will or not. We spoke last month, and you said to me you're talking to foreign lenders about the possibility of raising long-term funding. How are you progressing on those plans?
Well, bilateral terms, we have worked out a few options, and it's coming to terms. That the cost effectiveness is what we need to articulate. We are a AA-rated country, A-rated bank. We want to borrow cost effectively. Whatever be the prevailing conditions, which is only a knee-jerk reaction, it's only a short-term issue, we want to make sure we have cost-effective borrowing. So...
What are we looking at here? Dollar bond sales, other currencies, private placement, open market?
It's
Tell
private
us what's
placement.
being considered. Private placement.
It's private placement.
Yeah.
The banks have given us offers. We are working out it. And I'm sure we'll be able to sort it out.
How soon? Give me times. We need times.
Our liquidity management has been scientific. We have enough liquidity for us to see through the balancing act for lending.
Okay.
And it should be the next 3 months' time. We should be sorting it out.
You also said you want to sell some assets in the UAE. Any progress?
We are progressing. We are looking at swapping with UAE banks operating in Qatar. We are contemplating options, how much should be. We have 2 branches, one in Dubai and another one in Abu Dhabi. And their assets can be equated to UAE banks operating in Qatar, so we can have a swap. And that's possibly an option. And we're also making sure the financial assets are being hedged and we can improve the further liquidity through corporate finance. So all sort of options are open and we are at it.
Yeah. And finally, as you said, you want to expand the reach. How's that going?
It's going very well. We have 3 representative offices coming up, Vietnam, Nepal and Sri Lanka. We are scaling up our Indian activity. We are going to have a new branch in Chennai very soon. So international expansion in line with the overall strategic direction, synchronized growth in line with Qatar's economic momentum is already on.
Great to see you.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us today. It's all happening today. Raghavan Sitaraman, the Chief Executive Officer of Doha Bank.